very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to you from wherever you're watching us. This is Herman Manyora's YouTube channel, and welcome to another episode of the Candid Talk. My name, as usual, is Evans Okinya. I'm here with Professor Herman Manyora. Prof, how are you?
Good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Evans.
Now,
Yes.
I'm trying to look at how things are suddenly happening and the kind of mood that we're witnessing in the country. Definitely. Let me first of all get your view on the sudden action by the president and the opposition leader to come together and say, let's have this dialogue.
I had said they have no option. There were only three options. Option 1, dialogue. Option 2, dialogue. And option 3 was dialogue. So they have just done what they were supposed to do. It's just a natural development. Yeah, but simple as it may be, natural as it may be, we must thank them and celebrate them because they have saved the country from sliding into anarchy. Yeah.
Tell me, what do you make of the conspicuous absence of both leaders from the church services that they normally have? Remember, the UDA brigade, or rather the entire brigade, was in Malava, of course, and we expected the president to be there. He was a no-show in that kind of activity that was held there, where 40 churches came together. I understand that the 40 churches are patterned by Farouk Kibet. I wonder whether you're also a patron of a church anyway. But then the president was absent in that kind of function. Raila was also absent in the particular function that he was supposed to be attending. I wonder whether this actually rings some sort of a bell to you.
There were much more serious things to do than attend church. Attending church is a very serious thing, but this is about saving the country. So the others pray for the country, but the leaders sit together to save the country. Yeah.
For the first time, I went to Twitter right now, and at least I went through Kimani Ichung'wah's tweets, and for the first time, I did not see anything like Lord of Violence, all those stuff that he normally writes. I also visited our deputy president's side, of course, and I didn't see anything of the sort that has been peddled all along here. Where do you think this actually leaves them? Because, actually, tell me, owing to the fact that you remember the kind of utterances that the deputy president gave while in Kakamega.
They're still absorbing the shock. These fellows, I've called them junior politicians, young politicians. And I just mean that in just simple English. There's nothing behind the words, just in their plain, ordinary English meaning. They are yet to travel the corridors of power, to walk the journeys of politics. They are yet to cross the rivers and valleys and climb the hills of politics. So they are juvenile, and they will grow. They are still growing. But now they are beginning to realize politics is not where they thought it was. Yeah. So they are still absorbing the shock. They are in denial. They are in anger. They are all those stages of grief. They must be burning inside, boiling inside, cursing.
But how comes? How do you say that they're boiling inside? Yet from the onset they were like telling Raila to call off these demonstrations. Yet when now he decides to call them off again, it's like things are changing for them. Were they benefiting anything from?
Of course. No, it's not about benefiting from demonstrations. It's about anything that keeps Raila away from power. Because if Raila comes close to power, it means they also go away from power. It's as simple as that. The closer Raila gets to power, the farther they get away from power. It's as simple as that. Yeah. And that's what is driving them. But then they are also not seasoned enough to know politics has its own rules and dictates. And it's about interests and nothing else. They should have also known, should it at some point serve the interest of the president to talk to Raila, he will talk to the Raila. Yeah, they should have known that. But I suspect they were not seeing it coming. Yeah.
So for them, they would have preferred that Raila continues with the demonstrations?
Because of that thinking, they were completely blind to the fact that the country could burn. So strong, they were consumed by that kind of, feeling and thinking, that they were unable to see beyond that yonder lies danger, that this country was sliding into anarchy. They couldn't see it. Yeah. And Ichung'wah was saying, people are lucky this thing is in the hands of the deputy president. If it was him, he would have dealt with these fellows. Some of them were as juvenile as to imagine you can arrest Raila just like that. You see how juvenile are. Though I'm saying they are young, I mean exactly that. They are not bad people. Very good people. They have a future in politics. But these are lessons now they are learning. They think you can just grab Raila and take him to jail. That's when you can see what I say, what I mean when I'm saying they are still juvenile, they are still young. They are not seasoned. Ni wabichi, hawajaiva, hawajakomaa kisiasa. Raila is not a man you grab and take to jail. Even the jailer himself may refuse to open the doors for him. Because the jail could even burn.
So right now it's like there is no
Some
Raila.
are even saying you can clear him. And I want to tell these junior politicians, take time to learn politics. Take time to understand how the country even works. If you want to arrest Raila, you don't just walk to Raila and arrest him. The president will have to consult, including the military. Yeah. The intelligence. And they will tell him don't.
Those people who think that for Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah, these people who are actually being touted as perhaps hardliners in this kind of stuff, that these people have only used the idea of profiling the former president and Raila Odinga as their currency of talking to the people and bringing them, and that is the kind of agenda that they would want to sell. And now that things are now going the other way, it's like they've been caught unawares and they do not know what to do next.
Let me tell you this. I will advise them for free. Except if they meet me, they should buy me a cup of tea. I won't even ask anything big. Just a cup of tea na supu ya kuku. Let them not resist what is happening. Let them embrace it and be part of it. To serve them well, especially younger people like Nini Nyoro, Ichung'wah, they still have a future. They have barely touched their political life. Let them accept this thing and embrace it and be part of the change. If they try to stand in the way, it will not take 6 months for Ruto to feel safe to call their bluff. This free advice. In another 6 months from now, Ruto will be safe. And he can call these guys, tell them go to hell, do what you want. Now he can't. Because they will gang up with other people and they can move him from power. But in another 6 months from now, Ruto will be safe with Raila. Much safer than even Uhuru was with Raila. And they can call their bluff. Tell them, "Kwendeni huko." So they should not wait for that point. They should just be part of this. Say, we are very unhappy. This is so bad. We never expected this, but surely looks like it was the only thing that was there to save this country. So let's make the best out of it. And their life will continue. Their future will be guaranteed in politics as to the extent possible. But if they try to fight this thing, they'll be thrown into the dustbin of history. When I tell people they see here, me I see there. When I tell Mudavadi your path to power is through Raila than where you have gone, I see it. Because now with this, all these people have become irrelevant. In the fullness of time, they will see Manyora was seeing where we were not seeing. You completely become irrelevant. Most of the people who left Raila, you can see already some of the demands he's making about MPs. I'm telling you, and I'm telling these MPs to begin shaking. Part of the conditions Raila could have given, let's deal with these MPs, to sanitize our politics, to clean our politics, so that the process could start to remove them from parliament, and within 6 months they are all home.
Of course,
anybody who left Raila.
That's something that we need to have a conversation on, by the way, Prof. But now I want to get your view on some of the reactions that I saw immediately after that took place. What's your view about how the Interior CS Kithure Kindiki reacted to the announcement by the president? And
I've not seen. What did he say?
Of course, he reiterated the same things that the president said. He said that a time is coming when it doesn't matter actually who is right or who is wrong. And of course, he strongly supported this kind of pronouncement by the president and the opposition chief. And your friend Ahmed Nasir, I saw him actually take a different direction and talk of these people have lost. This is
who has lost?
Actually, he tweeted with the photo of the Azimio Brigade, all those members, Martha Karua, Raila Odinga, and all those, and
say they had lost.
Yeah, actually terming them definitely loosely. interpreted to mean that they had lost it all. I don't know what you make of the sentiments of Ahmed Nasir and perhaps that of Kithure Kindiki.
You know, this is an industry. And there are people who benefit from a certain state of affairs. So when that state of affairs is set to change drastically, they are the losers in the industry. And they will say sort of things they are saying. But some people are also not intelligent enough, mature enough to see danger when danger is coming. So there are people who rubbish the handshake. There are many there around us, round and about. And they talked about, and round and above, that handshake was useless. The truth is, without the handshake, maybe we could not be having this country. And the truth is, this country was sliding into anarchy. That's how you bring in Kindiki. He had said that before. We should be careful. We are going into a hole. We shall not come from that hole easily. That's what Kindiki said.
Definitely.
So, people like Ahmed Nasir, either they lack the capacity to see things, or they benefit from the state of affairs. I'm not saying him. I'm saying people like them. They will fall in two categories. There are those who benefit and who stand to lose should things change. But there are also those who just don't know how serious the issue is. So when you are talking about sliding into anarchy, they are not seeing it. There are sort of people who can only believe when it has happened. When they wake up one day and they realize the country has changed. It's not the country they know. They can't go to the office the way they normally go to the office. What? And you call a few friends and somebody tells you, you are still in Kenya. Me, I'm in Tanzania already. There are people like those who within... I read a book, The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born, Aikwe Ama, who love to pass through a toilet hall into exile for them to know things are bad. So there are people like those. Their capacity to see things is low. Their intelligence is wanting. They are intellectually challenged. Some people are blinded by tribal loyalty, primitive considerations of money, so that makes them incapable of seeing the reality. It becomes a serious smoke through which you can't see the reality. And that reality is what Kindiki was seeing, saying, kule mbele iko shida. Mbele si sawa. Mbele iko shida. It's unfortunate that not many people are seeing that. So I'm not surprised when people treat carelessly and talking about losers and winners. They should listen to Churchill. What did Churchill say? It's not about winners or losers. I've said many times on this show, it's not about blame. It's not about who is wrong, who is right. If we go in that direction, we can never resolve such a problem. This is not a problem you resolve by looking for people to blame. This is a problem, you see it for what it is. This is danger. We are walking into danger. Let's not blame anybody. Let's not look who is right, who is wrong. Let's try and resolve the problem in the best way we can.
Definitely, we can see the kind of difference that appeared between the reaction of the Deputy President and the CS Interior. But of course, while in Kakamega, the Deputy President downplayed the allegations that there was some sort of bad blood between him and the Interior CS. We don't want to get into that. But then finally, on still sticking to what the Deputy President said while in Kakamega, he said that the only conversation that they want to have with the Right Honorable Raila Odinga is how he's exiting from the Kenyan political space. And I doubt if that really sat well with so many people. Now that that conversation is not there, and right now the president has agreed to have a conversation on some of the issues that were raised by the Azimio. Do you think this one as well sits well with the Deputy President?
You know, that's what I say is juvenile. And these are young people. They have not been in politics long enough. The years may be
definitely
advanced, not quite old. They may be in their 50s. But they have not been in politics for long. They are yet to learn the ropes. When you talk of Raila in such a manner, it seems you don't understand politics. Raila alisema hawatujui sisi. If you can see a man bringing the whole country to a standstill, and you still talk about discussing about sending him to retirement.
But even Rigathi said that hawa watu hawatujui sisi.
Nani hao wanajulikana?
Because he's saying tell them ask.
And there is nothing to know about them.
Tell them to ask Uhuru Kenyatta who we are. That is what he said.
There is not. But Uhuru is still on top of things. As Rigathi takes his cup of tea, he's taking it in a country where Uhuru is still in control of these things. Uhuru is, I'm very sure, is part of the people driving this process now. That is relegating the same Gachagua into irrelevance. I have told them you cannot write off people like Uhuru Kenyatta. His hand must be in these things. I'm not sure, but I suspect so. So, when you talk like that about Raila, even with evidence abound, a man is bringing the whole town to a standstill, putting the economy on his knees. And you still think the only thing you can discuss is to take him home. And a man is larger than life. Raila is larger than life. If you don't see it, we can only forgive you because we understand you are still learning politics. You must look at a man, even when the president is somewhere in Germany or so, people must be asking who is the president of that country. Because the guy appearing somewhere and there are thousands of people unannounced, no notice, no nothing. And the whole town is come to a standstill. Nothing is going on. A man like that, you can dismiss by talking about sending him to retirement. He's the one who can send you to retirement. And what happened yesterday effectively sends the Mamao son into retirement. He's the one who has been retired already.
Well, let us see. But finally, as we wind up this conversation, Prof, there are those people who've been saying that the way they're not actually happy with the way the deputy president has been behaving, as if these are some sort
have to be happy.
Some sort of a co-presidency between him and
Gachagua has no responsibility to make anybody happy. No, he doesn't have to make
and people are saying you're more or less the same as a deputy governor. We've never had any deputy governor rant outside here. Why are you yelling like you're the one in charge? People are asking.
But you know this government, the way it came into power. So those are some of the things you have to deal with. How Ruto was able to come into power, the contribution of the likes of Gachagua. And Gachagua is under no obligation to please anybody. But there it is.
Do you think he's established himself as now the second in command after the president, creating that clear distinction between him and
It depends on how he plays his politics.
And Mudavadi.
You know, if you look at history, you'll find people, it's about seizing an opportunity, the moment. You know Gachagua can walk out of government today. Say, if this is the way you have seen we can move, I am walking out of this government.
It will take us
and with that one move, we can inherit the entire Mount Kenya region. And ask some guys from other parts of the country, you also walk out of this government.
Of course.
And they tell Ruto, let's face you with Raila in 2027. It's possible. And people have done that, but do they have the courage?
That cannot happen
They
because
don't have the
a number
courage.
of people believe that he cannot convince anybody beyond Central Kenya. That's what people say.
It's not possible. It's not true. That's not true. That's not how politics works. If Gachagua were to walk out of this government today, and convince people like Wetangula and the rest to walk out with Kinakingi, because whether they like it or not, they will be relevant in tomorrow's Kenya. With this deal, they are all irrelevant. If they are waiting to see it, to feel it on the body, they will feel it. But if they walked out of the government, they can offer formidable opposition. And they can cause nightmares for Ruto and Raila. Yes.
So at least, but then at least I'm happy.
But they don't have the courage. We also have so many skeletons as Kenyans. So you begin to look, you open your what do you closet, look at how many skeletons, how ugly they look. You close there, no. You go back, say, Your Excellency, Your Excellency. But if we are in a country where people have nothing to fear about their past and their dealings, they can be lethal. If they walk out. Because many people are annoyed with this deal, you know that. We are praying for it. We are very happy it has happened. But it is left many people very annoyed. And therefore you can capture that and run away with it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we are hoping that now at least the Deputy President and the likes of Kimani Ichung'wah can now start focusing on bringing us solutions that would help alleviate this problem that we are having of the high cost of living and focus on development agenda in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stop this conversation at that time. But if you're watching us for the first time, kindly subscribe and stay tuned to some of the programs that we'll be bringing to you next. Still, we have this conversation again. Have yourself a very lovely day. My name is Evans Okinyi.